the movie of the system, basically. You can refer to the Matrix if you like. Um, so the characters that are on the forefront of this particular set, the American set, um, it's the Adams Famine family. Basically the ones who are controlling you. It's a movie. These are characters. The Adams Famine family. And that's where we're going. We're heading towards famine. With the places that they're taking us, with the unnatural disasters and the things that are happening, the whole manipulation, propaganda aspect of the system is, you can basically understand that they're sending us towards famine. And Adam's family, because they are creepy and kooky. So you have Morticia Kabbalah Harris. She is the lady of the house. You have Joe Frankeniden. You must get the jag. Man. These guys are amazing. They're your handlers. They are the ones they say to watch. You have other characters. Count Faucula. He's ready to stick his. That's not mine. I gotta give credit where credit's due. That's not mine. I got that from somewhere else. Count Faucula is not mine. But he wants to stick his fangs in you. He wants you to jab up. These characters are amazing. And you have Dr. Trumpets of Evil himself. And you can imagine who that is. It's in the name. Anyway, these guys are all the players. Not all of them, but these are the forefront, the figureheads of the nonsense, the Adams Famine family. And that's what they're pushing us towards, the Hunger Games. The amount of cinematography that's put in front of you, right in front of you, hidden in plain sight, is amazing, but also sickening at the same time. So you have these people basically ushering in the plan they've been planning for decades, based on a war game they've been playing for thousands of years. Now, it's not uncommon that some people are so indoctrinated and so depending upon the system that they can't fathom things like this. Their concepts haven't traveled past the terrestrial dimension. So we definitely have to think about why at this point these people are suddenly turning partisan as per the characters. You got the Adams Famine family and Dr. Trumpets of Evil, and these are your options. And and it's up to you to try to break away from the hypnosis. Okay, they're causing problem, reaction, solution. These are phases in the art of war. So when they say that there's something that's very dire to us, where we have to put our guard up and dodge these punches that people are willing to just go ahead and accept, once they create that scenario, now information comes out from both sides, especially the side where the guard ups are like, hey, I need more information. I need to understand how it affects my biochemistry, with my ethnic group and every other ethnic group, how it affects these ethnic groups, because we are the same, but unfortunately reality says we're different. So with this, we need to know. I want to know. Yeah, it's your right to know. This is your sovereign biochemistry. Are you saying it's not yours? It doesn't belong to thee? How dare you? So now I say, if you don't agree with the information that's given to you, then you must trust yourself and say, okay, well, I think it's time for me to start doing my own personal research, as opposed to just getting in line, because that's what we do. We get in line. So they are all partisan, they are all together all the countries are all together. They all have their own version of the Adams family, all of them. And unfortunately, the reason why this is the way it is, and if this transmission cuts off, I don't know how much memory I have. It might just cut off abruptly. I'm still going to post it, and I'll just continue. So, with that said, all these countries are together. They have to be. So now you have to figure to yourself, in order to rationalize these things, how could everyone be on the same page? All these representatives from these different places, how could they all be on the same page? It's because of the motivation. What is the motivation? You. You are the motivation. If you have control over a person, that's a beautiful thing. That's if you any one person who's ever interacted with another person and was able to exchange humanity, you know that's a beautiful thing. So if you have gotten to the point where you created a system, through the ignorance of human beings, you created a system that doesn't need human beings. So basically it turns the human beings into purposeful playthings. You turn them into characters. You turn them into toys. Turn them into useful tools that you command and control. And if you have many of these things, that actually satisfies your small sense of humanity once you've actually gotten to the point where you want to be a part of this. On the corporate level, meaning you are in cooperation with others to enslave the masses. That's basically what corporate is. So when you decide these things, the little small piece of humanity, is able to, stay there or stay vibrating a small bit because of the other humans that you allow to be around you, even though, they are not, completely autonomous themselves because you've now assimilated them. And this is your reward, for your tyranny, for you being down, with the devil. This is your reward. You get to control parts of God's plan. And to some people, that's a beautiful thing. You get to control the aspects of reality. And you also have the human subjects that you can use for your own enjoyment. That sounds like something that a sociopathic, non-human, hybrid style, just bent on math, is an entity, that's just, irresponsible at best in their connection to the energy that holds us true as who we are. It's a shame, people, but this is not something that's new. It's been a war for thousands of years in regard to the biochemistry on this planet. We are part of something that's way bigger, that has been reduced down to what it is today. And you have others who basically have the same story, but their story plays out in a different way. If you have reptiles, you have amphibians. If you have amphibians, you have Homo sapiens. You have Homo sapiens, you got mongoloids and other things. And there's also relatives, ancestors, beings connected to all these classifications of life. So if you think something might be alien or something is called alien, it's alien to you. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not terrestrial. So these concepts they elude people because of, I guess, like I said, the hypnosis. You have to be controlled. Control comes from your cognition. If you can control someone's cognition, if you can get them to subscribe to your program, then that's what you have. You have basically programmed individuals. So now you start the process of control when it comes to a human spirit. You start the process of control with the concept of time. Light, how to control light. The human is light. So if you control the light energy around that person, that human, then you can control them because they work off the light. The light is what fortifies them and makes them who they are. So if you control the light, the information, the memory, then you can control the person. So when you are able to break down the person's life into units, break it down into units of light, units of time, units of seeing. You create a construct called time in regard to their light. Once they subscribe to that concept of time, you make it relevant through reference that actually taps into the emotion, the spirit of that person. Put names and claims upon the spirit and emotions of that person to get them to relate to time. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It's another aspect. It's another way of understanding time. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Time, past, present, and future. There is no past. There is no future. You cannot time travel outside of your imagination or thought or a guided perception. These things are impossible because you can't travel through something created by a belief. So, Father, Son, Holy Spirit helps you to rationalize being a participant in the concept of time. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Father represents your past. It's where you came from. It's your father. The Son represents your future, the aspect of here and the now. And the Holy Spirit is the isness, the energy, the absolution of now. That's all relevant, and the only thing that is relevant when it comes to the connection. It holds the concept of past and future, father and son. It holds that concept together, the idea, the need to progress. So when you subscribe to time, you subscribe to every other characteristic that comes from the commanding of your light. Whoever commands the light commands the sight. Commands the sight, commands the vision, commands the vision, commands the reality. It's just plain and simple. So these characters are at the top of this hypnosis. They will definitely reference the same time, the hypnosis of time, the same program of time. It relates to other aspects of the human condition also that you can exploit, meaning time and space. So space itself is just as a concept, just as time is, meaning the human imagination will be towed to a place where it will be comfortable, or it would be uncomfortable, or it just want to explore just because of the fact that it was taken to that place. So if you take space and say, what is space? It's the distance between 2 points. The space in between. There's space. Now we see space everywhere. We see the distance between 2 points. But if you apply that to the imagination, the human condition, all of the different nuances of just being a human, as far as psychological, emotional, spiritual, how it all just culminates into that person's character and what they are. Once you get all those things together in a concept, an idea of space, and take it further, take the imagination further through a story or a concept or an idea, or you can make it law if you want. Whatever you want to do, you can guide that person's perceptions of space into something else in like a whole nother area of space, and actually believe that it's tangible or real or to be explored, when it only goes as far as your imagination will take it. And how far do they take it? So you got to think about these things. All these things are relevant and they apply. So please just be strong, people. Understand that America has been sold off a long time ago. The exploits of the Europeans who basically colonized the world. There is a timetable. There's a time frame in which these things have to go on. There is a beginning and an ending. You're coming to a point where they understand that the baton is to be passed. Everybody wanted to be like the Europeans all this time. Everyone wanted to be like the Europeans, so they copy and they use their culture, and they use the capitalistic exploitive nature of the Europeans, all of their idealisms, colorism, the classism, all the isms they use, mix it with their culture, and overtly, covertly, whatever you want to say, or however you want to understand, they infiltrate. And they are getting geared up and are ready to take over their part of the agenda. Because they're all against the indigenous. The indigenous has to